So, we just got back from our trip to Universal. In many ways, it was our first trip because I had never been to Islands of Adventure.
None of the attractions that were there when I went are still there except E.T.
It was all of our first time at any Harry Potter stuff there. All of us are very big fans of the Disney parks and have been going our whole lives. Well, let's start with our first impression of the first thing, our hotel. So we got to Sapphire Falls. I was very excitable. And I can't believe that I'm looking at it right now.
She was so excited
She
about the
ran
view.
away.
She did.
Yeah, I
Leaving
did.
the adulting to the rest of us.
Yeah, while they checked in, I went and looked out the window at the Sapphire Falls.
Screamed across the lobby, "We can see the Hulk!"
Yes.
I don't think it was across the whole lobby, but
You were across the lobby and we could hear you. So, yes, it was.
I was excited. We did do room service one night and got cookies and milk like very responsible adults.
The cookies were ginormous.
Perfect. Texting the front desk is a godsend. I had forgotten my belt, so I texted the front desk and said, "Hey, can I get some zip ties?" And they were like, "We're on it." And they sent the engineering department down with some zip ties.
The shower wasn't one of those weird, confusing hotel showers.
Yeah, I immediately knew how to turn it on.
I know.
Amazing. We were going to talk about Citywalk. We were there when it rained. We were able to get around a good bit in sheltered overhang.
Yeah, I expected for the party to halt while it was monsooning, but we went into Rising Star after we nearly got drowned by the sky, and the party was there and alive. I mean, obviously, Rising Star was the highlight.
These two sang.
Karaoke has been ruined for me forever because that was my first time, and now every time there's not a live band behind me, and I think it's fun.
So it was pretty late at night, but the place was still packed and super energetic on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
We were at Jimmy Buffett's
Margaritaville. That was fun. Also
oh my
had
god,
live
those
music.
nachos.
Like an appetizer. If you have a party of 10 or more, then it's an appetizer.
Yes.
If not, which is where we went during the storm.
Yeah.
And it was packed. Citywalk is a party going on over there all the time. We did the tour at the Hard Rock. Also felt like being a rock star.
Great staff.
I liked meeting that shrimp man at Bubblegum.
Oh.
We ate at Redbox. But it was
Great
fun.
design.
I liked it. I liked that they had porch swings to sit on.
And I liked having options like that there. For me, the idea of dining is very intimidating. The first and last day I was there was wearing overalls. It's just...
And also just from a money standpoint. We also wanted to say that Toothsome was really impressive.
Oh.
Theming and everything. That's something I think I would expect more to see in a park. That was kind of cool. There was no admission fee to go to a place like that.
I do like that Citywalk is connected directly to the parks.
Yes, and that's really nice. Something that we've both experienced at Disney is that food shuts down before the park, and oftentimes you're trying to do one or two more things, and then there's no food. And with Disney, we have Pizza Hut come to our hotel. That's kind of nice. It was nice to know that Citywalk was going to be there open till 2 a.m. and also that there was going to be transportation until 2 a.m. as well.
Yeah.
In Disneyland, we had gotten stranded if you stayed until park closed and then exited, buses were gone. We never had to worry about transportation at any point on this trip.
I mean, we
Right.
did make the mistake of walking once.
That was our own dumb fault. I don't recommend that walk to anyone. And also, you should stop recommending that walk to people. First thing we did was talk to the night buzz. I think he would have talked to us as long
I think
as
it
we
was-
stood there.
yeah.
They had jokes for our houses. At one point, we were walking by again. Nobody had stopped to talk to them, so he was just standing there talking to the head. They were like roasting each other, like they were like
that's
being mean to each
amazing.
other. We went and did Grimold Place. We saw all the secrets. We dialed magic in the phone booth. We
Yes.
looked at the records. Then we went in through the brick wall. I had thought that it would just be like a corridor. There's a lot there, a lot more than I expected there to be.
Like you're walking into the movie.
Knockturn Alley was really, really cool.
It's actually kind of spooky.
There
It
was
felt
no-
like you were down a dark alley at night, as opposed
Yeah.
to indoors.
I never looked up and was like, the roof. There's tons of details in pretty much every single shop.
And the merchandise available in each shop was just different enough that you felt the need to go into every shop.
I expected there to be a lot of house merchandise, but there was also a lot of merchandise for other things like Gringotts, the train,
The seals.
the seals.
There was a lot of different age groups throughout Harry
My
Potter.
favorite thing I saw was that itty bitty Slytherin girl.
She was so tiny.
How do you know you're evil already?
Excuse me.
Ambitious.
She's
Ambitious.
very ambitious for
Or
her
as
age.
that one shirt said, shrewd.
saw adults older than us in full robes in the heat.
There were so many people dedicated to those robes.
It wasn't even just the robes, there were people in the Hogwarts sweaters, in the
Yeah.
Hogwarts scarves, in Florida in summer.
People who come there, they come there to play. The staff play along. Like, I'm a wand maker here. I make wands for my friends, and I broke my wand on the trip on day one. It was so disappointing. Well, what would I do if I was actually in this situation? I would go ask for some Spellotape. So I went into Ollivanders, and the worker there was like, let me get some Spellotape. Went and grabbed some cellophane tape. What did you do? You shouldn't have been using your wand that way. I don't want to see you in here again. It was great. It was perfect.
We got chosen for the Ollivanders Show.
Which, hands down, the best experience for me the entire time I was there.
As a reasonable adult, I'm aware that it exists to sell merchandise. Whoever gets picked, this is going to be hard for that person to not buy that one.
It was really hard.
And it was so hard. And I also had no idea that two people could get picked for the
Yeah.
show.
At the same time.
So they came up and they said, do you two know each other? And I was like, oh, this is just pre-show banter. And I was like, yeah, we're friends. And then he was like, why don't you both come up? And I was like, what?
Yeah, it was terribly exciting. The Ollivanders Show is very intimate.
It does really feel like he's just talking to you. I
Yes.
don't know if the people behind us knew what was going on, really. They definitely got to see us cast the spells and have zany antics. I don't know if they heard all of the dragon heartstrings, your friendship, like all that. That felt like it was just for us. All of the little shows in the two areas were
I loved
really
all the
cool.
shows.
The
Yeah.
puppet show was really outstanding.
Oh.
Just simple enough to really feel like theater. We tried the British breakfast, which I don't recommend. But if you just want to try something new, make sure you also order food that's good.
And for the record, we're making fun of the British.
Yeah, Universal.
Not Universal.
Universal just worked with what they had. We tried butterbeer and fire whiskey. You tried
And
some
the
other.
Wizard's Brew, and the Hogshead one, and the Dragon one.
So if you tried all the
I
beer
tried them all.
at some point, I don't even know what all those points were. Good for you though. I tried the fishy green ale, which I like. The potion making thing was really fun. I do think it would be funner if you had two little vials, so maybe mixed a different color. And it would also be funner if it was more of an interactive experience and not just something you bought and did.
Yeah, it looked a little like, look at the magic Kool-Aid.
It would have helped if the person at the register was more like a performer who could be like, this does this and comes from this magic place of things. Like
It is a very prominent stand.
And
And it's
looks-
right in front of the stage.
It looks like it's going to be kind of a little show, and it's
Yeah.
a little disappointing when it's not. We saw some of the kids doing the interactive ones.
Occasionally, I would see workers there nearby, and they'd be
Yeah.
assisting people. One guy was like, "We can't make it work. Move on. Get to the next person." And I was like, "Oh,
Oh yeah, that's
that's a
not
little
very
upsetting.
nice.
That's a little upsetting."
Unless he was like just like Snape or something.
That would be
like, "Get out."
hilarious, but no, he was this guy.
Ah.
Yeah, my favorite effect was on Weasley's Wizard Wheezes, and it had the guy with the top hat, and it
Yeah,
would do the thing with the rat. That blew my mind
that's
when
really
that
good.
rabbit vanished. And it was like different levels. Oh, hey, that's the thing in the movie. And oh my god, it does the thing like it does in the movie. And then it was like, how the heck did they do the thing like they did in the movie? And Gringotts is definitely in my top 5.
It's my number one.
I think I like Forbidden Journey more.
We'll talk about
see?
that in a minute.
Yeah, he was very cool. That was the first ride that we did. And there was no one there, and those goblins are really creepy.
They are.
No one else
And
is
their
in the room.
eyes catch the light like real eyes do. When you're walking and he talks like right next to you, it's like, whoa.
There were the talking portraits, which
That was an amazing effect.
Harry
Actually,
Potter.
what amazed me more was the newspapers with the moving
Yes.
photographs.
And
Because those just looked like pieces of paper
Yes.
laying around.
and I was so worried that it looked like a video screen. And
Yeah,
they
just
really
a
don't.
I love the safety video.
The safety video.
Being a portrait. I like the Gringotts safety video better than the Hogwarts one. Unless
Although-
you're a goblin.
That would, every time, people would laugh.
It's adorable.
It's
It's
so
so
silly.
endearing. There's the elevator ride.
I like that there's stuff going on.
Every time we rode the elevator, it was just like slowly rotating, like
Yeah.
history style, all the way down. In the office at the beginning, I didn't realize the first time we saw it that the drawers were real. I thought
Yeah.
that was a video, seeing that it's a real drawer that opens and then the video of the keys. It was very cool integration. When I rode Gringotts the first time, and we came just to that very first scene where Harry and his pals roll up, I just started sobbing loud. Like I held my mouth like this
Yeah.
because I was trying to hear what they were saying and not sob over it. I didn't expect that to be so emotional for me because I was such a like, oh, the books are far superior to the films.
Oh wow.
But you see those faces and it is them. That's
It
very
really
Ron
is.
Hermione.
And
they were just there all of a sudden. And it was so magical.
I think I was actually a little more impressed when Bellatrix and Voldemort showed up.
They are threatening, even though they're just people, you know?
They're not people, they're dark wizards.
Yeah.
And you believe it. I will say, though, about this ride, which slightly prevents it from being number one for me, is that I think that first drop is the best part of the ride.
But it's so awesome.
It's really awesome. I just hate that it happens at the very beginning. The drop, even though it's like, you're gonna fall, I was like, I don't believe you. And then,
That's
because
true.
I didn't understand the first time we rode it that it was actually like
It's a
part of the
roller coaster.
coaster. It really did actually catch me off guard.
Yeah.
And nothing else later in the ride had the same effect. The
Done.
story is very cohesive. It feels like something that could be conceivably part of the movies.
Other roller coasters where they try to tell a story, usually it's bookended by story. I really liked that throughout the story it was sprinkled with some high thrill moments.
Yeah.
It was so shocking. That's when you would do like a really tight turn or something. I forgot I was on a
wake you
roller
up in the
coaster.
morning, yeah.
So now we're going to talk about the Hogwarts Express.
Which is also a very cool and magical experience.
I love the effect of going through the wall. Simple, elegant. It's very cool to watch, but it's also cool to do, too, because it has the sound effects and stuff.
I love that everywhere around the Hogwarts areas, it's switched from stroller rental to pram rental.
I love that you get your own compartment, but it doesn't feel like a show. It feels like a train ride. You
Yes.
get to experience everything you want to.
Everything major that happens on the Hogwarts Express, basically.
Also, we really thoroughly enjoyed their go to compartment D for Dumbledore.
I left a bag on the train and went off to the Hogshead for a brew. And I realized I don't have my backpack. So I run back to the train station. I said, hey, I've got a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles backpack. Just left the train. And she radioed, hey, we've got a code Dobby.
They got it back pretty quick.
Yeah,
He wasn't gone that long. The reveal of Hogsmeade coming around the corner and seeing the castle back there, I mean, nothing's going to beat that.
The castle is definitely what makes
It's
the Hogsmeade
so
side.
big. And even knowing how foreshortening works, it still just feels massive. From every angle, it's just picturesque.
I liked the Hogshead. The bartender there was,
Oh yeah, Employee of the Year.
who has eyes like lasers, by the way.
She like lightly brushed up against the glass, and he was like, ID!
He was very nice about it.
I was being judgmental about Toby having, it was whiskey at 10 in the morning, and he was like, I've already served so many whiskeys, and also you're on vacation, and I will not tolerate that kind of negativity in my bar. The hog moving, like, tripped me out, because I only saw it do it, like, once.
That's
so it,
always the best way to do stuff
Yeah,
like that. Is have
it
it happen
not very
too
often, so that you're like, what
Perfect.
was that? I saw that there were, like, just random broomsticks parked inside, and she was like, it's 3 broomsticks, but that's where it goes and turns into the 3 broomsticks.
I missed that.
You were drinking at 10 in the morning. Of course you missed it.
You were-
I feel really bad, like I should have written down these people's names.
This
now.
was September 11th. Whoever's working the 10 a.m. shift
Yes.
at the Hogshead.
Cool guy.
When you did it in Hogsmeade, you said you had the best performer ever in there.
She was incredible. I showed her my wand and she like, may I? 12¼ inches. Very swishy. I was like, how do you know this? She goes, what is the core? I said, unicorn hair. She goes, I should have known.
We saw the Frog Choir, which was much more entertaining than I expected it to be.
Yes.
And I've had the Hogwarts March stuck in my head for days now.
I've known some choir people. They're
Yeah,
very
I've
good
known
at
some.
playing up being choir people.
Yeah.
I love it. Oh,
Yeah, the
Bobatons.
Bobatons girls. Why don't you sell the hats? Morgan would have bought one.
Bobatons and Durmstrang stuff.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool. I also wish that they sold the frogs. Or maybe like a mini version.
Yeah. One more thing about Hogsmeade. I would put Diagon Alley above Hogsmeade. Because Hogsmeade with the winter thing going on is very cute. Less cute when it's 90 degrees.
Yeah, I think the winter does ruin some of the immersion.
And I understand why it's there because the only time you see it in the movies, they're there during winter.
For me, it's especially the ice.
Because it looks all
It's
dirty.
I think it'd be okay to see Hogsmeade in the warmer months. It definitely exists in the warmer months.
And it's not like there's snow on the castle.
You should have the shrieking shit.
Yeah, or at least like out a window somewhere.
It might be a little startling for people to walk by and then just suddenly you're screaming, but I think
Well,
that would add a
if it
lot
was-
to the
If it wasn't a I enjoyed that looks like wicker. Like, it kind of looks like how a wizard theme park would be. The same way that when you go to Scarborough Fair and they have rides, but they're all made of ropes and wood.
I really, really, really do like the Buckbeak animatronic.
Hagrid is my favorite character.
I love that he did the safety.
Audio.
If this new ride is going to be fantastic, and you already have a beast-themed ride over here,
It'd be cool if it has a little write-up about hippogriffs by someone who might be familiar with Fantastic Beasts.
and
Even where to find them. Yeah.
So then there's Forbidden Journey. The queue is amazing. It's a Harry, Ron, Hermione pre-show, which is adorable, and I like that it's different each time. I think my favorite bit of animated scenery, I don't know what to call it, was the House Founders portraits with having arguments and discussions.
Yes, so I really kind of wish I could have sat there and listened.
I would love to hear the whole loop.
I love the idea of Salazar Slytherin, the guy who put a basilisk in the basement of the building, being like, I don't want to talk about the last time my house won the Quidditch Cup. That's hilarious.
I also like that Slytherin is arguing less with Gryffindor and more with Hufflepuff. Each other.
What a great framing device. Is a bench. I really wish you thought of something other than enchanted flying benches.
You know what would have been cool is Thestral-driven carts, but then people would be like, I've seen someone die.
Oh
Why
my
can't I see
God.
Thestrals? I guess Hogwarts is open for muggles. To see Professor Binns give a lecture, Harry and Ron and Hermione were like, you don't want to do that. And I was like, but I do.
We do think it'd be a cool interactive show going to a class at Hogwarts.
Oh, yeah. Especially if one was Professor Binns, because you don't even need an actor for that. You just need the ghost effect. And if you are really worried that it would be too boring, you could always have Dean Thomas roasting him with you in class. This ride has a reputation for causing a lot of people to get sick. She gets motion sick normally, like in the car.
Yeah,
usually not from rides. I have gotten motion sick on Disney's Mission Space.
If it was violent shaking, I would have been fine. It's this
floating, simulated speed. You have stuff rushing past you when you're not actually. Something I think that would also help with motion sickness in general is if you have a high-powered fan.
Yeah, that would have helped me too, and it would have helped simulate the speed better.
After we rode it the first time, I was like, I'm glad I rode that. It's a good story, and I'm glad I saw it, and it had a lot of cool effects, but I don't think I can ride it again.
Yeah.
When we did end up riding it the second time, basically anytime we were in front of a screen, I was looking down and diagonally at the edge of the screen and the track so I could see what we were doing.
Finding the track and for me looking straight up and finding the projector. Saying all this, it's still in my top 5. You get so close to those Dementors and those spiders
the
and
spiders
the
are really
Romping
close.
Willow. It feels so close, and it feels like genuine peril.
I've never seen on any other ride how close they can get you before you see them.
The lighting design's really smart.
I love the reveal of the dragon, where you see like a wing and then you see the claw marks and then the dragon's right there.
And if I wasn't dying by that point in the ride, I'd appreciate it even more.
Second time I couldn't even look up for the Tom Felton.
Yes.
Seeing the dragon on the screen is nowhere near the impact of seeing the dragon when you see the dragon. The more practical stuff, the better. The part that I feel like I kind of missed, apparently when you look into the Dementor and then the faces that you see are you the second time.
The second
blew
time.
my mind.
The effect's almost not sharp enough for it to have the impact that I think it wants it to have.
You're moving so quickly away from it. I remember looking at those faces, trying to identify what actor I was supposed to be seeing, and never registered it as us.
When you compare Gringotts and Forbidden Journey, I like the practical effects that are in Forbidden Journey more, but because the way the screens are used, it makes this less coherent experience. The whole story of Forbidden Journey is very strange. Harry's taking us to the Quidditch match that he's apparently playing in.
Similar to the Hogwarts Express in that the story is kind of iffy because you're doing everything that's done on the train.
Yeah.
This I think is similar but doesn't end up working. Why does Hagrid have a dragon? He already learned his lesson about this. I like the idea of we're allowing muggles in and that's the Forbidden Journey.
In Gringotts though, it's like, no, you're wizards. You don't want to be a muggle when you're in Harry Potter world.
You know who I want leading my tour of Hogwarts that goes zanily wrong? Fred and George.
I thought you were going to say something really dumb, but you kind of have a point there.
It is hard to think of a reason you're flying around Hogwarts.
This is touring day. Like, they're trying to boost admission to Hogwarts after all the
like,
student deaths.
Something that another park called Disney did with Mission Space, they have recovery rooms. I came out of the ride, like I sat down, and they were like, you can't sit down in the shop. You should just have a recovery area.
I really, really wish I could like it more.
I want to love it so much. I can't look forward to riding it. Maybe if you had it like a carousel where every 10th or 11th cart doesn't move.
I wouldn't want to be the guy who has to clean up Forbidden Journey.
Yeah, give him a raise too, or her, or them.
Great technology. I don't think it's necessarily the best version of that technology. I think if adjustments were made, it might be.
Jurassic Park.
The T-Rex is broken. When
Yeah.
the T-Rex isn't there, the impact of the drop almost entirely disappears, unless you're a weenie like Rachel.
I still enjoyed it.
It is a great ride. I think the dinosaurs still look pretty good. Good job on those eyes in the skies.
It was like right before the drop.
Yeah, the ride paused.
The whole ride stopped.
A voice came from the heavens and yelled at a guy with a GoPro.
And someone was also wearing a hat.
Big no-nos.
But it was
Ever
funny
seen it?
that they were like, hey, follow the rules. Now back to letting you die. I really hope this ride stays around for a long time.
Yeah.
We didn't get to see the raptor encounter. Mostly bad timing. A sign. What times? Make it a lot easier. We did go into the Dino Institute, and that was a surprising amount of fun.
They could use some updates.
There was a lot of stuff that didn't work or was broken. In a lot of ways, that was like being at a real science museum.
There was one of those panels where you lifted it up and it's like, look at the amount of trash that's just stuffed in there.
Spared no expense.
I named a baby dinosaur.
Her name was Rachel.
It really
Hang out
does
there.
look like the visitor center from the movie. Which
Yeah.
is awesome.
I actually liked the whole layout of Jurassic Park a lot. It was all the winding trails, and they had the different vehicles. Let's
And
talk
then
about that, because that's my favorite show building in the park.
Oh, absolutely. The facade for that ride
Yeah.
is spectacular.
The queue and everything was amazing, too.
With that being said,
We
I really wish
were-
I could like the ride.
The opening is really cool. You go through the doors, and there's those giant bat animatronics.
Yeah,
Yeah, all that stuff is boss.
There's a lot of rides that are vehicle and screens. It's not the worst use of it in the park, especially because it is bookended by actual animatronics.
It did kind
And-
of feel like you parked and watched a movie.
Having seen the recent Kong movies, I'm kind of like, I can do this anytime.
The movie was super entertaining.
The unlikely adventures of that woman who should definitely be dead.
There were parts where the cars picked up, and there was also like a fall,
But it's
but it
not,
wasn't impactful.
because people aren't secured to the seats.
Yeah, so you can't like
you
throw
can't
the vehicle.
really.
Kong's big thing is seeing the animatronic Kong. I just wanted to have on record, it's amazing. It's a great animatronic.
I don't know, 0 out of 10, no banana breath.
The impact of seeing it is taken away because we see Kong through the whole ride.
Storytelling wise, the climax is Kong doing the
Breaks
T-Rex.
that dinosaur's face off.
That's when Kong's at his most impressive, but then you see the animatronic and you want to be impressed, but you're mostly like, and now he's just standing there.
It's a work of art. I could appreciate it as, look at this craftsmanship, what a time to be alive, but story-wise, it wasn't impressive.
The weight that you have
That's
for
true,
Kong,
it's the
I don't
biggest.
think it's worth it. Leave the facade, rip a bunch of stuff out, turn it into Monster Island, and it'd be amazing. I want a giant Mothra
More
animatronic.
monsters. Could we come up with a more expensive idea?
I literally don't
But-
think so.
Cartoon Lagoon.
I'd like to start by just talking about the area as a whole. Who is it for? Because I recognize most of the characters walking through, but
I do not. It does feel like most of those cartoons were more like things our parents would know.
when you did see kids over in Cartoon Lagoon,
It was getting wet and a little. We
Um,
rode the raft ride with a little
the
girl.
raft-
She had a great time. Morgan didn't dress for this. I loved it. I've ridden a lot of rides like that, where it's a circle raft. What I loved most about this one was how, like, the water looked cartoony. This is a cool ride to do a cartoon theme with.
on the other hand, Dudley Do-Right one.
That ride seemed like it was in worse shape.
The ride scenes that you go by are very, very static.
And that doesn't have to be a bad thing.
I don't want to bring up the D word.
It does have a hard competitor. I do think something that rips off Falls had that was cool is the actual drop and all that crazy water when you're on the bridge looking at it.
I wanted the main drop to pay off more than it did, though, because it is like,
This ride is fine as is. It just probably either needs retheming or a good facelift.
I like the Popeye ride, but honestly, I think the whole area needs to be rethemed. None of the
Like we were
merchandise
saying,
that's
like
in those shops is for any of those characters. I don't
the
know.
Heroes Island of Adventure. And I like the crime line telephones.
Yeah, those are funny.
Should we talk about our favorite ride?
Did you see that? The
Spider signal!
This is the way to do screams.
What Spider-Man does really, really well is integrating the screens into the environment.
Forbidden Journey was very much broken into screen time, real time, screen time. Whereas this, there's a fire escape, and on the screen, Spider-Man jumps down. It moves when he lands on it, and he's like,
And yours, the best example of it is the Hobgoblin. He tries to throw a pumpkin bomb at you. Spidey stops the first one. So you're backing up and there's still action going. The second pumpkin bomb
to actual like fireball.
It's
My other favorite, there's a screen behind a piece of scenery that looks like a building. That just goes down, and the screen is coming up behind it. It simulates speed, but not in a way that makes you feel nauseous. That's such an iconic thing from comics that's rising up over the city.
The little simple tricks work really well. Doc Ock bursts through a brick wall, and the surrounding area is brick wall. For the record, we ended up writing it.
I don't know how many.
You wrote it.
The 3D effects, it wasn't just gimmicks. It did add something.
It was a real fun superhero comic book kind of ride, and it wasn't
Yeah.
sort of the glittier superhero stuff. Amazing Stan Lee cameos. The more we wrote it, the more we saw.
You can write a whole paper on this ride and why it was
It's like,
so
yeah.
much. Sinister Syndicate.
There's so many villains.
Yeah.
You know what that means? Headlines!
More rides should be narrated
By J. Jonah Jameson? Absolutely. Here's how you can improve the park. Every ride is Spider-Man.
Character meet with J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh my god.
Her one critique of the ride was the crazy green food,
Oh,
which
God.
I like. It looks like a random background.
I
device
know
for
it's
Saturday
not
morning.
supposed-
The Seuss Land.
It needs to be repainted.
We all grew up reading Dr. Seuss.
Yes.
We have feelings about Dr. Seuss that are positive and good. It felt overwhelmingly like a kiddie land. The one that we did was the tram. I was like, this will be cool because we can see the whole land, which was not true. When you first got on, it was like, I can make noise and you can make noise too. And I was like, I already want to die. I have little kids. I watch a lot of little kids stuff. I'm not one of those people that's going to be like, oh, rhyming, I hate it.
It
like,
sounded not even that was for little kids. It sounded like it was for babies.
baby. Toby actually liked it.
A giant man baby. I've been separated from our kids for a while, so I just thought about my kids.
When you're writing it, the sneakiest thing keeps coming and going away. They need to pick a story and tell it. One of the weirdest things, we had to go to the bathroom, and it kept going. What was it?
Whoop.
Q is for quad. Quad is for quandary.
Just wanna pee.
I thought I was losing my mind.
I did get a giant cotton candy there. Amazing. The ladies who worked in that shop were very funny.
And they took a lot of pride in their work.
She was really excited for Christmas because they get to make stuff out of cotton candy, and she really likes doing that.
To the most potential having part of this park, Lost Continent. Adventure around every corner.
We ate at Mythos. It was fantastic. That building is amazing. The inside is just as amazing. I like that there's water running through it.
The eternal old fashioned.
He said it was the best old fashioned he'd ever had.
I've never had anything that good.
It was all really, really good. Highly recommend. I don't have anything bad to say about that. We discovered
Poseidon's Fury.
lasers.
All of a sudden, this booming voice and this little bitty projection of this woman goes, "Who calls upon the goddess?" From that moment, I was hooked.
Well, with no idea what we were walking into, every second of it felt like a crazy fever dream.
I enjoyed myself because it felt like I got dropped into an episode of Xena or Hercules.
I liked it because of the potential it showed.
I've never done anything where you could walk through action happening like that.
And the water tunnel's cool.
The water tunnel, yeah, please don't take that away, whatever you put there.
The story itself is told very well.
Secret beside cult. You know what, if you made this into a thing about a cult,
I think Harry Potter should take it over, and then
I imagine
they should leave that a show and make it with wizards.
Yeah.
A wizard duel, yeah.
Dumbledore and Grindelwald. That is a really unique attraction.
Yeah.
Nothing else like it anywhere.
With that being said, I do feel like every single person there, including us, ended up there by accident.
That's a fact. It's very updatable. I don't think it should go away. Turn it into a Dungeons and Dragons. Be like, you and your party are traveling and blah blah blah. Go through this water tunnel.
The cheese factor is what's really holding it back. We love the cheese factor.
Yeah, and I would embrace the cheese factor. Be like, see it now before it goes away. See the laser. Be with the goddess. And now I'm in a waterfall. And it's in Lost Continent. Interacted with the fountain. It was super mean.
But in a great way.
Real good.
I was shocked.
That's something that would not have to change. Turned into Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Harry Potter's full of decorative landmarks that are assholes. That's where Morgan got her shirt.
Never forget Dueling Dragons.
So that takes us across the way.
Universal Studios.
So we'll just start with Minions. It was okay.
It's a screen.
We basically have that exact ride at Six Flags here. just changing out the movie every year.
The story, though, he was planning a party for them the whole time? Oh my god.
I like Despicable Me too, but it still feels like if I went home and watched the movie, I'd get basically the same experience.
Yeah, the ride itself is dime a dozen.
For something like Universal Studios, I feel like y'all have outgrown this kind of ride.
People don't come to Texas to visit Six
No.
Flags.
Unless they're from Oklahoma.
Hey! Over to Jimmy Fallon. The exact same experience, but not intended for small children. Really don't know who it is meant for.
Obviously, there's the thought, why do they have a ride based off of a late night talk show? That's not the question we're supposed to ask. We're supposed to just accept it. Let's go see what it is. If I'm trying to think of the best part of it, it seems like you worked in a lot of practical filming in New York along with 3D models. As a filmmaker, I can appreciate that was hard to do.
I think I would have been happier if it was just actually a tour of New York.
We've come up with so many ways that we would have done this ride differently. If it was a tour, it could be really funny. Well, Jimmy Fallon's going to show you around New York. He's racing the audience. I had no experience that involved my audience members.
We're fools. Obviously, this is a variation of the flying benches.
Hermione was there. If there was an evil Jimmy Fallon, and he was going to have the evil talk show of evilness, and Jimmy Fallon was like, well, no one would watch that. He's like, well, I'm going to take your audience. He's trying to save you. Do that. But here's our biggest beef with this frickin' ride. The designed wait. The museum part downstairs. But it was a low volume day, so we got to skip that part entirely. Which means that without that part, we still had to wait so long. There's the live entertainment, which we got to see a few rounds of.
I would have enjoyed more seeing those guys on the street.
There was limited seating, which is obviously what everybody wants. The games were okay, but most people, including us, weren't really playing them. We played them for a little while. I might have watched the singing guys if that room wasn't so crowded. If you're a short human and it's all standing close to a pretty low stage, this ride seems to think like, oh, but our line is awesome, and you're going to want to wait in it.
The wait was weird, and we didn't like it, and the ride experience in no way made up for it.
If you are a huge Jimmy Fallon fan and you want to do those things...
If I had known it was going to be like upstairs, I would have stayed longer downstairs to look, taken the time to look at it.
I wish they had made it clear you're not going to lose your spot in line if you linger.
They also had TV screens, and it was just showing Jimmy Fallon clips. It would have been more interesting if you'd done behind-the-scenes videos.
Or older Tonight Show.
Or setting up why we're having a race and what this car is and what's going on. Jimmy Fallon held us hostage, and we didn't care for it. We're going to talk about the Ride Rockit.
Brilliantly simple, making it so you can choose your own music.
You two were sitting in front of me, and so I could kind of see you reacting to your music. And I wondered more than once if you had picked what I was listening to.
I honestly put Ride Rockit as my third favorite things at the park. A simple idea that makes a brand new experience.
There's already a ton of songs to choose, but then having the secret list is even further. Probably every time I go back, I'll ride it more than once.
So let's start with The Mummy.
It's a classic.
I honestly wasn't really surprises, but it's an awesome ride.
Starring Brendan Fraser, it's showing his age.
No,
timeless.
I guess I would have enjoyed it more if I'd had my coffee.
Number one featured in all the commercials.
Yeah.
Mummy's going, but a lot of it still looks good. The bugs look pretty good. It's mostly the weird facial. It's better than the Scorpion King.
Transformers. I am a huge Transformers geek.
Look at this right here. It's just right here. Her opinion is the most important one.
It does seem like something taken straight out of the movie. Not a particular movie. If you go to the Transformers wiki, it has been assigned its own Universal stream. It's weirdly violent, but it's okay because they're robots. I get sad when he rips the head off of Ravage. It's brutal. It knows enough to make your ride vehicle a character, which you can buy toys of. So I will be buying an evac.
One thing that Transformers had, the slow-mo moment, goofy and fun, that made it stand out from the others.
Yeah.
Make a Transformers noise.
So I will start off with this one also. Fast and the Furious. I do love those movies. I know what y'all are thinking. Wow, she must really love cars, have no taste, or both. And I assure you, you're right about at least one of those things. It feels like a real place. You go through the queue.
All of the little nods to Beetlejuice and previous rides.
The little pre-show that you have.
They're great. That Pat.
He's a bigger guy, Latin American.
We'd ridden it before, and we came in. There was only a couple of other people there, and it was first thing in the morning. We came in there like, woo! And Pat was super excited for us.
But that part of it does make half the experience. The ride itself doesn't do much more than go forward.
And have party lights.
Because The Fast and the Furious ride embraces its lunacy, and it does have that setup. I'd put it ahead of Kong.
Yeah, I would.
Way ahead.
I feel like that shouldn't be. Someone in your ride group is a witness.
Oh yeah, you should have a picture.
Mentioning the D word again. And Star Tours secretly take a picture of one of the ride guests and throw their face up there.
I've never seen a single Fast and the Furious movie. Riding that ride has convinced me that I need to see all of them. Really loved the sets with the screens. And that one really felt like riding a popcorn movie.
From a storytelling standpoint, especially for the craziness that is the Fast and Furious, it makes sense.
You just say the Fast and Furious and makes sense in the same sentence.
Okay, look. All you need to know about those movies is that it's about family.
What you gonna do?
Act the fool! So you might say the whole thing was a ludicrous experience.
It was.
Oh no! Megatron, I'm sorry! Okay, so we are talking about
Men in Black. I think that it's aged pretty well.
I'd actually put it above the Buzz Lightyear Rangers.
Way above.
Yeah, I actually would. I like that you interact with the other cars.
I like that it starts out with the cutouts, but then it goes into the actual
Yeah, like it's a real
aliens.
situation. The first time we rode it, we were a little unsure because there wasn't targets, so we just instinctively aimed for eyes.
Which
And
was
then
correct.
Yeah, we looked it up after, and I really liked that it was like, do what you would really do.
The guns and the lights in the cars were in pretty good shape. There is a simple but effective story.
The writing
I think it's
on this
fun.
ride is really funny.
It was a fun rail shooter.
Springfield, USA.
Hey, and we're sitting on a couch and everything. Our favorite theming thing in the entire park. Small obscure reference. When you go into the gift shop, anything where it's that has your name on it, they have a million ones that say Bort. That is a reference to a single Simpsons episode.
We can insert that clip right here.
Right?
Bort? Oh, come on, Bort? Mommy, buy me a license plate!
No, come along, Bort.
Are you talking to me?
No, my son is also named Bort.
I loved that was there.
That brought
you
us
could
a
get
lot
Bort.
of joy.
The whole Simpsons area is full of
Stuff like that. The ride is fun.
There's no break in the action.
I love
because
this
I
story.
love Sideshow Bob.
I love Giant Maggie.
Yeah.
Going to hell.
And I love all the jabs at theme parks. I like the ride system. You wouldn't know that there's other cars. We both had a Krusty Burger.
Solid.
It could have totally just been a really crappy burger and I would have been happy. But it was actually super delicious. And I loved the secret sauce.
And the Duff beer, great.
I had a Flaming Moe, which was funner to look at than it was to drink because I think it was just orange soda. The loop of Simpsons clips in the cafeteria should be way longer.
I was gonna say that.
You could have a really long clip show. I'm available to put that together, by the way.
E.T.
The Extra Terrestrial.
It's probably the weirdest ride I've ever ridden in my life.
E.T. is basically two rides. The first half is a magical journey.
The second half, confusing and strange.
The queue's delightful. Smells like a forest, feels spacious and
it's
dark.
and it
It's
feels
nice.
nice.
Yeah. The first time that I came to Universal Studios, I have really strong memories of riding the bikes over the city. All the times that we've gone to the Disney parks and we've ridden Peter Pan, I've always been like, it's nice, but it's not E.T.
The first half is very, very classic.
Very
Then
well
you
done.
go into the bizarro nightmare land of the Green Planet.
I'm here for it.
E.T. saying my name is very special.
Unless
Unless
your
E.T. doesn't know
name
your
is-
name.
Morgan, Rachel, friend.
Toby's not that out there.
Yeah,
Y'all could
come
add about
on.
this. Especially if you're not going to replace the ride, just keep adding names.
So I like the unique ride vehicle. I'm
Yeah.
kind of surprised y'all haven't tried to do.
A Stranger
like-
Things overlay.
Oh man! So, a horror makeup show. What a great little gem. A volunteer that got pulled on stage.
She's old enough to be described as spry.
A family member says, I know no English.
So they go, no English.
Perfect! How
Her
inclusive.
family was very into it.
When they showed stuff from the new Mummy.
They roasted it a little bit. Not enough. Y'all should sell those squirty hearts. I would have bought one.
I love all the classic horror monster stuff. It's always nice to see y'all recognize that history.
So now,
Nighttime shows.
Well, let's talk about Cinematic Celebration first.
The viewing area was a little confusing though.
It should have been because the projectors and
You
the
can
fountains
see
are
where the
really
show
obvious.
is. So we were way off on the side, kind of like just
Yeah.
looking at water, waiting for it to start, and then it started way over there. We
Yeah.
were like,
The lighting and fountain design. rivals, if not surpasses, Disney stuff.
Oh, yeah.
I like that it started with a sort of opening credits and it felt like a movie. It started kind of getting stormy. Highly recommend seeing that show with some real lightning and thunder.
I loved utilizing the buildings around the area too.
Yeah, it has rewatchability. There was a lot of gear shifts as far as
Sometimes
the tone.
literally looking at you, Fast and Furious section.
The Harry Potter section is a very emotional section.
Yeah.
When they were kids and then they're adults and it was, but they had the thing, they're like, wow, it's going to be hard to follow that.
That actually worked better.
That worked. The nighttime lights at Hogwarts.
I really liked it.
That was amazing. The spotlights and the fireworks.
And the light up trees.
At the end of the show, when Hogwarts is just glittering.
You get your house pride moments.
Yeah.
And they're all cool.
The light coming through the windows in the Slytherin part. It looks insanely good. It's
Yeah.
seamless. The Sorting Hat is jazzed about it. And I'm
Yeah,
jazzed
I'm
about
jazzed
it.
about it. It's one of my favorite nighttime shows that I've seen. You get a good view even when you're behind stupidly tall people. I wish it was more clear when it was starting.
They said
And
at dusk, so we
very-
arrived at dusk. And we we wizards, we meet at dusk. When
yeah.
it's time. Hey, Volcano Bay.
Okay, the volcano really makes it.
Talking to the volcano inside was
Yeah,
my favorite
I don't
thing.
think I liked how they had the scales.
Very subtle.
I think more of them should be at the bottom rather than at the top.
Fearless River and the truly lazy river. I like that the lazy river was warm.
But the more
Fearless
well,
River.
Fearless River.
I was a little dubious about the life vests, but those make it.
Understand
More
what they're
sizes
required.
would be good. We were both wearing a
That makes
junior
sense.
medium because they went from junior medium to adult medium. And those sizes in the middle is where we would have fallen. Falling out of the medium adult.
Really squeezing into the junior ones.
I love the part with the bubbles.
Every
Like
time.
a little
Yeah.
adventure
Every time.
every single time with you and your friends. We accidentally got into a drop slide. It was like, body slide, fun. Walking up, because she doesn't really like water slides. I jokingly was like, well, at this point you'd ride it no matter what because you wouldn't want to walk back down these stairs. A few flights later, and I was like, oh man, Morgan, look at that.
The guy at the top knew
His name
how.
was Joey.
Joey's a liar! But he does get people to get on the slides.
Yeah, he talked me onto it. Apparently I screamed. I don't remember screaming.
Yeah, when she dropped out of sight screaming, and I look at him like, he's like, well, you gotta meet her down at the bottom, don't you?
I really liked their
Crack it
physics.
out.
They sat in the back two seats and they put me in the very front seat, so every time we went over a hill, I was like up in the air. We did the sled. That was cool because I've never done one of those water sled rides where it was an enclosed tube.
Yeah.
There was one ride we went up to do it, and then they had problems. I wish they hadn't kept us up there so long. They wouldn't tell us anything, really.
Those of us who are on the top deck area, well, let's go down the other slide.
We did the slides where you fall. I liked it. It was like the coming of age. It's like, make sure that you swim up because a lot of people will swim forward not realizing how deep down you fall. And I was like, okay. But yeah, I was deep.
In Universal Studios, it's a little weird just getting around. In Islands of Adventure, you have the jarring transitions. I really think that Islands of Adventure especially should completely disregard trying to appeal to a younger audience. I don't think you're going to compete with Disney on that front.
The question, our next trip, is it Disney or Universal, Disney and Universal?
I don't think that I would ever be like, oh, we don't need to do it this trip because this was really amazing.
I still would probably make it primarily a Disney trip.
I think the odds of us taking a vacation without our kids in any kind of near future is pretty low.
With me, without kids being a factor, the reason why I still sort of put Disney over Universal is that Universal has this handful of things that I really, really, really do love. When you do a Disney vacation, first off, you say things like Disney vacation because it's a very cohesive experience.
Yeah.
With the exception of the Harry Potter stuff, it's a little scattershot.
Even planning this trip, we were referring to it as the Harry Potter trip. I am really pleasantly surprised by all the other things that we were able to discover and enjoy. Obviously, our favorite ride wasn't even a Harry Potter one.
Yeah.
We loved Spiderman. Disney is about to open this Star Wars area, and I know that they're opening it with a hotel. It might be interesting to see a Harry Potter hotel experience where you could have this continuous Harry Potter experience. Stuff like that is what would draw me back to considering just the Universal vacation.
Disney really has convinced you that you go there and you become a child again, and it's a very specific kind of experience that you can't get anywhere else. There's a lot of bits of Universal that I do feel like I can get other places, and even within Universal itself, there are experiences that repeat themselves.
Disney's the size of Manhattan. If you've got a weekend, maybe you go to Universal. I really loved getting to have a whole week at Universal. It was a luxury to be able to spend so much time there. But if I'm planning another vacation, I have to devote more time to Disney.
Really, I was almost completely satisfied with our first day.
With the Express, we were able to do almost everything in Islands of Adventure and some of Universal Studios.
Yeah,
Day
because
one.
At a leisurely pace.
When we went on our honeymoon, we planned a very long Disney trip that was more leisurely. And by the end of that trip, I was super tired and ready to go home. But at the end of this trip, I was legit sad. I really wish we had one more day or 2 more days to ride Spider-Man.
It's hard to do leisurely Disney. It's
Disney,
almost impossible when it comes to theming. Disney's pretty much got that, though I definitely think the Harry Potter areas rival Disney.
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh,
in that
surpass
regard.
at points.
Yeah.
Definitely the best park experience that I've ever had.
Yeah.
Totally spoiled.
She's sold. She's gonna always have to have VIP experiences
I
now.
really am.
And
yours! Next day.
We had a great time. We couldn't be happier. I hope that there's not too much criticism. That just means we love it a lot.
It's
We're very
it's love.
passionate.
Very passionate.